Hey YouTube, Juki here. There's a Leon here. He is not part of the Megazord, but here we are with all the components of the Megazord. This was a really weird intro. Ah, he's gone. Never mind. It would have been funny if he stayed, but anyway. So we are here with all the components of the Megazord. We're ready to build it. I'm in my living room because there's literally nowhere to build this monstrosity of a thing in an actual space. So we got all the parts here exactly how we left them at the end of all their individual reviews. If you're stumbling upon this video and you need to know how to transform these into their respective limb parts, it's pretty self-explanatory and it comes with instructions. But in case you need them, link right there. Hopefully this doesn't mirror anything weird like that for the playlist of all of these things. So to start, all we're going to really do is kind of move all this stuff aside. You know what? Let's just build the torso first. Let's just do that first. So here is the T-Rex torso right here. We're going to take these pterodactyl bits and they will go right on the back here. And it's actually a pretty secure friction joint. Wouldn't really worry about those falling off. Other pieces, absolutely, because this thing does not stay together all that well, in my humble opinion. But we got that. You're going to also take the little arm bits from the Tyrannosaurus, and those will go in those little holes right there. And those are basically wing cannons. They can also plug in right here via these posts. They can go in those holes right there, and they can be shoulder cannons. If you want to, I just prefer putting them on the wings. So either or, whatever you want to do. I've seen a ton of people do the shoulder mounted one, so whatever you want. So there is our upper torso. We're also going to take that weird clickety-clack shooter thingy from the Sabertooth Tiger, and that will go right in here. Just like so. So here's our upper torso. Hurrah. Coolly cool. Alright. Oh, and here's the sword, but we'll worry about that later. Take your legs. You got your Mastodon leg and your Triceratops leg right here. And those are going to go onto the Triceratops via a slide joint right here. It's nothing too extravagant or difficult. It does not lock that well, however. It's not difficult, he says, as he can't do it. But there you go. Like I said, they don't stay in there really all that great. And as you can kind of see from this angle, like this piece is falling off all the time. It doesn't want to push in all the way. I don't know if these posts right here are too close together or what it is exactly. But when you push it in, watch, it just pops out. So kind of keep an eye on that. I don't know if that's just a my toy thing or if that's kind of a thing for everybody, but take your upper torso. That will slide right in here. Just like that. And there's no clicks or anything of the sort. In fact, there's just a ton of wiggle room in there. These legs will go upward and they will peg in place right there. So it'll just kind of hold together like that. It's okay. It's fairly sturdy. If it moves around a ton, it tends to get a little bit loose, and it also doesn't like being like vertical, or that's horizontal. Never mind. I don't know directions. You know how it is. But yeah, so there is that, and then you take the pterodactyl, you pop it in right there. Boom, sword, and there you go. Here is your stupid big movie Megazord. Very, very big. It's about 26 inches or so, give or take. It's definitely 2 feet in the base, and then you get a little bit more up here with the pterodactyl's little gun things. But it's honestly incredibly absurd. And design-wise, it's kind of a little bit of a mess, to say the least. The core design, I think I like quite a bit, but the proportions that this, like the combined toy, has going on is very, very strange. The interactive Megazord toy, I think ultimately proportion-wise looks a ton better than this. But obviously that one has a lot less playability than... Actually, I'll retract that statement because I think the interactive one actually probably has more playability than this, even with the combination feature. But Yeah, because, like, particularly this torso area, like, I don't know what the whole, like, very, like, teensy weeny little waist is. Like, that's a really tiny waist. And it's like you got these chunky thighs with these little plates here, and you got tiny, tiny waist and these big, broad shoulders with these, like, little twig arms. The proportions are very much all over the place, and it's strange. The core design I like a little bit better than the interactive one because it actually highlights the Mastodon and Triceratops as legs, which the interactive one does not. So I'm not really sure which one's going to be more accurate to the actual CG model, since we have yet to actually see one, and we're 3 months away from the movie right now. But I don't know. It is what it is. Like I said, this is huge, 26 inches tall for the most part. Articulation-wise, you got pretty much the bare bones minimum, usual Sentai mech articulation, except kind of take out 1 or 2 points of articulation. And here we go. You do have movement up here on the arms, which is decently tight. It's not the tightest joint in the world, but just on a display, it'll probably hold a pose like that. You got that. Obviously, the head is a full rotation because it's just a little plug joint right up there. There's no hip articulation or anything of the sort, so the legs are stuck like this. They ain't changing whatsoever. You do, however, have a small bend in the knee because of the way the Mastodon Triceratops transform. And that's it. That's your articulation. It's kind of, like I said, it's like the usual Sentai mech articulation, except you take out a bunch of articulation and you're left with this. It's perfect. But yeah, so it's definitely very much a weird thing. The limbs themselves are, well, I don't really want to say limbs because that's not really a limb, are $20 a piece. So you got 2, 4, 6, and 8. So $80 for the 4 components. And then the Tyrannosaurus is, as we discussed in his review, stupidly priced at $40. So you're looking at $120 for this entire getup. Which, I mean, at the core doesn't seem awful given its size, but as we kind of displayed, as we were going through all of the individual components, they're not that fun on their own. So you're essentially paying $120 for this sort of like brick robot that doesn't do a whole lot, compared to, I think, the $50 for the interactive Megazord that has all these lights, sounds, some decent, I think it's got the same amount of posability, if not more, than this one does. And so for that reason, I kind of urge like parents and kids and stuff to kind of go towards the interactive one. This is available in a gift set at Toys R Us, all 5 in one box for $100. So you're like basically getting $20 off, which makes it a little bit more reasonable, but still $100 for all this isn't really worth it in my mind, especially when there's other products out on the shelf right now. This guy right here, whose video will be coming soon. But yeah, as you can see, like, the Voltron figure is definitely quite a bit smaller. It's only about 16 inches compared to like the 24 to 26 of this guy. He's $10 cheaper, he has lights, he has sounds, and the individual components are posable and fun to play with, compared to this guy over here. To top that off, here is a picture from my friend Chris of the Transformers Fortress Maximus and the Megazord together. Both are about the same height. Fortress Maximus is $150, but is a large-scale, posable robot that can transform into a city for all of the other smaller Transformers to play on and stuff. So it opens up a ton more possibilities for kids in that regard as well. So you have 2 different things on the market right now that are very reminiscent of this, and both are superior to this in pretty much each and every way. So that is kind of the big letdown here, is that this doesn't do a whole lot. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some cool things about it. Like I said, I am fond of the core design itself, but it's just a situation where it's not all that fun. It looks decent on a display, but again, given the problems I have with this design itself, like the waist and lack of movable legs and the weird proportions and all that stuff, it's just not nearly as fun as it could be. I think if you went ahead and gave the individual modes more paint, more things to do even, it would end up being a lot more fun of a toy and well worth the $120 price tag. But as it is, even at the $100 gift set price, it's not really doing a whole lot for me. If you are a fan of this, then by all means, enjoy, purchase, enjoy, have fun. But for me, when there's a ton better toys like this on the market, particularly the Voltron, it just doesn't really end up being all that appealing at the end of the day. But there you go. There is your big 2624, whatever it ends up actually clocking in at. I don't know if they count those little spikes or not. Total Megazord for the Power Rangers movie. I'm really hoping we get a smaller version of this that actually has paint details from the movie. A legacy version would be spectacular. Like, just take these designs, make them smaller. They can transform the same way. I don't even care about that, but just give us some more detail, a little bit smaller size, a little bit better articulation. The height is impressive. I would have loved it as a kid, just having that big of a robot to have battling all of my other toys, but it just isn't that fun. Let's be honest. So there we go with that. But that about does it for this review. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a cool video like this one. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care and have a great one. Bye.